Boys, got a bunch of global cooking techniques for you. Things that hopefully you've never done before. What do you think the global cooking technique is?
Sieving.
It's not sieving because we've all done that before.
I'll give you a clue, it is sieving, but it's sieving something very specific for a very specific purpose. It stems from the Basque region.
Been there.
And it is particularly used on fish dishes. It's called pilpil, or a pilpil sauce.
Pilpil, yes. Yeah.
What is that, Jamie?
Oh, that's put me on the spot. You know that thing about forgetting things?
Yeah.
Pilpil. It's like a garlic. Yeah, prawns in garlic. You have gambas pilpil.
Pilpil is a traditional dish in the Basque region, and it essentially is fish that's been cooked with olive oil and garlic, and then the sieve does something magical to the sauce.
Well, that looks and smells fantastic, Ebbers.
So it's cod cheeks that we've cooked in olive oil and garlic. It is warm, but it's not super hot, neither is it sort of cold. You can take some of the cod out and place them into your serving bowl, and then with what's left in the pan, you pass it through a sieve, and the sieve agitates in a tray or a dish or a shallow pan and emulsifies what is in the pan.
Right, different part. Aioli. Everybody thinks it's like a garlic mayonnaise. Traditional aioli actually has no eggs in it because it's the garlic that forms and the oil that forms the paste. And is it that similar emulsification of that?
Yes, and toum is very similar in the sense that it is just garlic that's doing the emulsification. In this instance, it's also the collagen and the gelatin in the fish that makes it really easy to do. Apparently, it was first discovered on the sailing ships, and it was the rocking of the boat on rocky waves where the sauce would literally emulsify in the pan through its agitation.
Interesting.
This is sped up by agitating it with a sieve in a pan to add a lovely, lovely emulsified sauce.
So this goes through here, including the garlic?
I mean, yeah, the garlic obviously going to catch in the thing, but it's the sauce. And what you want, Mike, is the sieve to be on the base of it.
Like that?
Cause it, so it's causing the agitation on the floor.
Right.
And you should get
It's going cloudy.
a nice, cloudy, emulsified sauce, which then beautifully gets poured over your fish. Clever.
That was so simple.
Does it taste any different, or is it all texturally?
Well-
I'll put my finger in it, sorry.
Well, it makes it more viscous, like a good French dressing that you shake up that again might have some mustard powder in it and stops the oil and vinegar from separating into something nice and, inverted commas, creamy. Obviously it's not creamy, but it is the collagen and gelatin from the fish as it's cooked, along with the enzymes you'll find in garlic that are broken down when it's sliced or chopped or minced, that gives you now, as you pour it over or spoon it over, a wonderful sauce, and that is pilpil.
Really delicious. There is a noticeable difference. Once you agitate it, it's really silky and smooth and thick, as opposed to just what you'd expect from
An oil.
an oil. Yeah. Tastes fantastic.
And by doing this, you get all of the goodness from that sort of collagen gelatin, the flavour and the mouthfeel. And I think commonplace would also be to do it with like a flatfish, which has obviously got lots and lots of fine bones, and it is all of those bones that contribute to the collagen and gelatin in the sauce. Very simple, but kind of cool.
Really cool. And also, an accessibility level we both can appreciate like that.
Big fans.
And if those flavours interest you, then we've got a version on the Global Fish Pack on Sidekick that does the, sort of very similar. So it's a baked cod pilpil, which is like with courgette and olive oil, and it's absolutely divine.
Have you made that one yet?
I haven't made that one yet. Sounds like I'm going to.
Not yet. Yeah.
Moving away from Spain, would you like to try another?
Yes, please.
Number 2.
It's a box.
It's a box.
Shiny box of
Two
dreams.
handles.
Oh!
Would you put wood chips in the bottom, smoking away, and then place the item in which you wanted to smoke in there, and then you bring it out there, and then you can baste it
With
in the juices because
You're close in the sense that it's a cabinet that traps in a gas. What if the smoky gas wasn't smoky gas, but was also just water vapour?
it's like steam.
it's a steam box.
It's a steam box.
Have you ever heard of Cheung Fun, a rice noodle dumpling dish?
No, but I am bang up for it.
Yeah, I am ready for some Cheung Fun now.
I think the Cheung Fun starts now.
Then let's make some. So fill the base of your cabinet with water and then put it over your heat source. And then your noodle roll base, which we've made you a batter. Now the batter is made from a rice flour mix, which actually also has cornstarch, wheat flour, and potato starch in it. So lots of different starches behaving together. It's quite thin.
Very thin.
What we will do when your drawer is nice and hot is ladle that onto a slightly oiled tray. And then you put on your filling. You can do prawn, you can do pork, you can do vegetables, not too much, a light scattering of filling, and then you put the tray in. It steams, and then you take it out and you roll it up. It looks like you're nice and steamy now, so you can probably turn your gas down to a low, just so it doesn't boil dry, and give it a go.
Is that the oil?
Oil our pan. Oh, nicely done.
Thanks, you did a good pour.
Thanks.
Then the loose batter.
How much?
Hold that thought. The handles aren't hot, which is good. Okay, mate. Oh, this is more pressure on me. Oh!
Job done?
So now slide the drawer in and give it 2 or 3 minutes to steam. The fun, so the word fun means flour and or noodle, will cook out. And chen comes from the word for pig intestine, because that's what it looks like once you've rolled it. It looks like the intestine of a pig, and it's fun. It doesn't need long, and then you can start to roll it and then serve it up, either as long Cheung Fun, or you can cut it into pieces. It's typically served with sweet soy and some crispy chili. Commit, commit, commit. Looking great. Give it a little drizzle of soy. Lovely.
Best breakfast ever.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The texture.
Oh, it's really, really satisfying. I was worrying
Yeah.
it was going to be too gelatinous and I wouldn't quite like the texture, but it's really mushy, really pleasantly mushy.
Yeah, and then you get the bites from the pork and the prawn.
Can we have another crack at it?
Yeah.
What do you do to a wobbly pub table? You level it out with some beer mats. Pull it out, put it flat.
Yep.
A little bit less of that, a little bit longer, because it shouldn't have been mushy.
No.
And lay the stuff in a line.
In a line.
Let's see how this goes.
So it also comes with a tray that has steam holes in it, so you could just rack up and tray up sort of dumplings to steam, but the flat one allows you to make these sheets that you then roll into Cheung Fun. And traditionally, apparently would have come from the Guangdong region, so a very rice-abundant region of China.
And would this be traditionally used on a wok burner?
Really big ones in kitchens just have a very gentle flame underneath, and you have many, many, many drawers, and you're operating very quickly and efficiently between drawers, and while one is steaming for 3 minutes, you're racking up the next one and the next one and the next one and folding. But basically, a heat source underneath. The skill is the art here, but actually it's very, very cheap, affordable ingredients.
Well, it's behaving a little bit differently, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Because we cooked it out for longer. There you go, mate. We've made one. Transfer the whole thing. Oh, great stuff. Really well done.
Yeah, that was much better. Cheers.
Cheers.
Much better.
Much better.
Delicious.
We could open our own shop. With 3 more goes, and I reckon we could open our own shop.
We could call it Dim Dum.
Dim Dum.
Dim Dum.
Well, we've been to Spain, we've been to China. Would you like to go somewhere else?
Oh, let's continue this journey of culinary amazement.
Let's see these first.
Okay.
What now?
That is precisely the question I asked to you. Lift the cloche. What now?
Whiskey.
Butter a grater.
Oh, I know what we're doing. We're fat washing whiskey.
We are fat washing booze. Jay, how do you know about this, or what do you know about this?
I mainly know this from TikTok videos, washing bourbon in bacon fat.
Why? How do you wash it? Don't you
So that
combine
your
them?
bourbon then has the flavour of bacon fat
So
through
you're
it as
adding.
well.
Is this an actual?
No, this is a mixologist's.
Okay, fine.
This is a proper mixologist's technique.
I'm happy then.
So this is something that our understanding originally from a fat washing of booze started in the US from a mixologist point of view, but stems from a French technique that was originally used to make perfume. And it is about drawing out fragrances or flavours from things. In their case, they would use botanicals, using alcohol.
This is cool. I'm really looking forward to trying this.
So a cold block of butter in this warm studio before it melts too much. Coarsely grate it into your jar and then whack it in and then pour over some form of alcohol. And you're right, Jay, whiskey is a common one and it can be done with other saturated fats like bacon fat or beef tallow. However, it can also be done with things like coconut oil or coconut fat. So I've had an amazing rum that was fat washed in coconut oil.
Haig, David Beckham's favourite.
Half fill the jar. So grating it is obviously going to increase the surface area so more of the fat can touch more of the liquid. Put the lid on, you can kind of turn it over on itself and then put it back into the fridge to do its thing for some time. Now, you know, the time will vary depending on the fat, the amount of flavour you want to cross over. But essentially, alcohol has polar and non-polar elements in it and they're able to swap with fats. So some of the elements go across to the butter and some of the elements go from the butter across to the alcohol. I wish I better understood it. I don't, but...
Comment below.
But it's probably best attributed to Don Lee, who was a New York barman, and he did bacon fat washed old fashioned. That's where it's kind of began with a technique called enfleurage. If you swap it for one that I did a couple of days ago,
Yes!
you end up with the end product. Now, if we drain that off, you've got two uses. You've got the whiskey, which should now have those lovely, creamy, buttery notes of butter, and you should have butter that you could turn into all sorts of cake frostings or the alike that's whiskey drenched, or use it to make compound butters for things like steaks.
Cooking, baking, drinking.
Drinking. Let's do the drinking bit first, and it will help the cooking come along.
So how long has this sat, Ebbers?
That's been a couple of days.
Whack it in there.
The butter put into your dry mixing bowl, and you might want to soften it in the microwave for a few seconds because obviously it's fridge cold, and then beat it with some icing sugar into a whiskey butter frosting or a buttercream. To a pipeable consistency, 2 to 1, twice as much sugar to butter.
That's pipeable.
Yeah?
Do you want me to do some piping?
Yes,
I'm really
please.
good. I'm really good at it.
Yeah, please. You are really good at it.
What did you think I was being sarcastic?
Yeah, I did. Go on, I want you go first because you know what you're talking about.
Now, obviously, butter is very soft and mellow as a flavour.
It's really mellowed the whiskey out.
Oh, it has taken the harshness off.
Yeah.
It has smoothed that right out.
It's a very, very smooth whiskey, which is quite horrible term. It's very rounded.
It's softened, it's rounded, it's mellow, it's rich, it's creamy, but the creamy is buttery.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this is psychological, but now I feel like the fact the edge has been taken off and the subtle butteriness almost brings out like a caramelly sweetness. Like, do you know what I mean?
Butterscotch.
Yeah, that's it. It is butterscotch, even though this is bourbon. Placebo or not, it tastes great.
It does taste really good. Cheers.
Cheers. That's really great.
Do you know what's really interesting about that is, I'm sure I've tried it before, where I've put a drop of probably whiskey into
Gravy.
an icing.
Oh.
Into an icing.
Yeah, you have.
And it won't whisk up with butter. It will not get the right texture.
The liquid and fat, water fat.
Whereas that has done exactly what I wanted it to do. It's infused the flavour of the butter with the whiskey.
It's done it to the perfect amount as well.
Yeah.
Now you can still taste.
Butter, sweetness, but definitely all the notes of the whiskey.
That's really cool.
I didn't know it was that simple to do because I've seen it before and I've wanted to do it. For me, the thought of going, right, I'm going to spend £25 on a decent bottle of bourbon and then I'm going to pour it all into some bacon fat or butter. Am I just wasting that 25 quid? Am I better off just drinking the bourbon?
What you don't want to end up with is a greasy liquid, but what comes out is still incredibly pure, providing the fat doesn't melt.
Chuck that back into the bottle.
Well, you've done pretty well so far. You've pilled, you've steamed, and you've fat washed. Would you like one more?
Oh, we've got another one.
Yeah.
Last one. It nearly fits under the cloche.
Really?
Go.
Whoa. I know what that is. It's a Turkish ice cream, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm also thinking like funnel cake.
All valid guesses, incorrect.
I was just thinking, do you hang it from something? And that just,
Not there, you don't.
unfortunately,
No.
was at the perfect height.
This is the global cooking technique, traditionally from France, called flambo. It is the act of heating up that, traditionally in very hot coals, and then spooning in a little bit of beef tallow, which smokes and burns profusely.
What's
but
beef
then,
tallow?
Beef fat.
Fat, okay.
But then drips out of the bottom of the cone onto oysters.
So all the windows are open, the aircon is up, we have a safety bucket of water.
We have a handy gadget to extract.
Yeah.
You do the holding, I'll do the heating and the
spooning.
filling, and
I'll
then
do the drizzle, and then I'll do the dunk.
Perfect.
Cool.
Teamwork.
Like all
Teamwork.
of these cooking techniques, definitely a two-person job. And it's said that the searingly hot beef tallow gives the oysters a completely unique flavour. I don't know how frequently this is done now, but would be associated with the French Middle Ages.
Tallows in.
There you go, you're welcome. And then, wait for the sound. Oh, so satisfying.
Do you reckon again but hotter?
I was like, again, hotter. Which meant that essentially.
Hotter.
Hotter.
So attempt number one, maybe the beef tallow was too liquid, so we're going to go even hotter, and we're going to go with actual solid beef fat. So from the rind of a good steak. That's better.
Whoa.
So a solid beef fat doing the work for us. A little drizzle over one oyster, and then we'll get it in the bucket just to save setting off the alarm.
Oh. Yeah, it's going in.
Put it in the bucket.
In the bucket.
There we go.
Definitely more smoky. It smells incredible in here now that you've got all that kind of spitting beef fat, and you dribbled it over a couple of the oysters. Try those ones.
You can tell the oysters definitely cooked a little bit.
Now, whilst it's a technique from the Middle Ages, more recently, 2011, Michelin star chef Nicholas Ekstedt revived this lost art with tallow-based oysters in Stockholm, and now so many restaurants that have open pits that are cooking over coals use this in some way or other.
Down the gullet.
Cheers. I'm not a big fan of fresh oysters like this, but I tell you what, the flavour of the beef that it imparts and the fact that it does actually cook it slightly, I think makes it taste a lot better for me.
It's essentially steaky oysters.
Yeah, and if you think about that beef and oyster combination, we've had beef and oyster pies from way back when oysters were actually cheaper than the beefs. They would be added in to bulk it out and would add an amazing flavour. Now, the actual tool is much more affordable, whereas once upon a time it would have been an expensive bit of kit. So all of these factors come into play to make it quite an elevated option for global cooking now.
I can 100% see from the flavours of that why people absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
It's combining two incredibly luxurious, elegant ingredients that doesn't usually happen in that way. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's like two flavour powerhouses just colliding.
And earlier in the year, I had it with some beautifully infused coconut fat that had got all sorts of aromats, calamansi, lime and curry leaf and chili, and that fat was then flamboued over oysters and a restaurant, and it was just sensational.
Awesome. What a load of fun. That was great, mate.
So that was Spain, China, America and France. But now over to you guys. Comment down below, are there any other global cooking techniques that we have not covered before that we should put in front of our normals?